Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your boy 3 Stacks in this thing, baby. And today, I have a treat for you. I'm going to be showcasing you guys my variant of pure Thunder Dragons. This is the first of many. I have a lot of different ideas for this deck. I'm probably going to end up creating a lot of different crazy Thunder Dragon hybrid variants, but I wanted to start you off to get your feet wet with the pure version. This one is going to be really legit, you guys. I put a lot of time and effort into getting this build. I also had to put a lot of time and effort in actually getting this deck. I had to save a lot of money and spend a lot of money too. And I did it not even because I want to play this deck, because I don't. I want to play Heralds or Cyber Dragons. Those are the two decks that are on my mind for this format. I don't care about playing Thunder Dragons, but I did it for my subscribers. A lot of people wanted to see my way of playing Thunder Dragons. In fact, some people even said, bro, I feel that you can break this deck. So I was like, man, challenge accepted. Let's see if we can break this deck and make it good. So yeah, I'm going to hop into my build. Just keep in mind the way I build my decks is naturally unorthodox. So just don't ever don't approach it with a skeptical or pessimistic mindset. Open your mind, basically open your mind to positive, expansive horizons. And just don't ever be surprised. At this point, if you've been following the channel, you shouldn't even be surprised by the spice. There's always going to be spice in every deck. Alright, so let's hop into it. We have triple Battery Man Solar. The card's amazing, guys. I just wish that the summoning a token effect was not once per turn. That would be fuego, bro. Like, if this card could summon a token infinite times, like, oh my goodness. This card would be, like, eroded or banned, like, immediately. Because it's so many ways you can abuse this card. But yeah, it's a really great starter card. It pairs well with another spicy tech that I play in my deck that I saw that nobody at YCS Niagara was playing. No Thunder Dragons took advantage of that card. I was like, what? Are you kidding? I'm mind boggled. I have to show them. I have to show the world this card now, apparently, because nobody knows that it exists, or people just think that it's bad. But it's triple solar. He is like a fine wine. My brother, he's going to pair very well with a lot of your other starter cards. And, you know, he just makes your hands way better, a lot more playable. We have 3 of the OG Thunder Dragons. You need to maximize on as many ways possible to open up with the Thunder Dragon that you can discard to meet the requirements to go into Colossus. This deck summons Colossuses for free. Free, brother. It's fire. It's fuego. You get free Colossuses. All you really need to do is get an effect Thunder monster on the field, get in the discard effect, even if it's not a good discard effect. Like this one's not that good. It just gets the same copies of itself. But it is a discard. It's an ignition. It opens the window for Colossus to just come and rain down on Sky Strikers and Trick Stars and Gokis and all these search heavy decks, you know. Triple OG Thunder Dragon. Pairs very well with also your Titan, because you could just go 1-for-1 on this card versus just getting the +1. You can just go discard, search, pop 2 cards. If you have double Titan, you're popping 4. Now for my favorite Thunder Dragon, not only because he's incredible, because I find that this card is going to be good outside of his own deck. I want to play this card in Lightsworns with triple Gold Sark, because Lightsworns have a tendency to break with my Cobras, my Garnets, my Wolves, my Felices. All these cards that Lightsworns want to be in the deck. If you can resolve a Gold Sark and just put those back, draw the same number of cards, you're going to be fixing your hand. Even banishing this card off of Fairy Toast, no. But this isn't Lightsworns, you guys. I'm just really saying that I think this card's going to be great. Even in my my Gym Knights, like it's going to help you to get to the FTK faster. I just think this card is just way too good in just any deck, because you can play it in any deck. I love this card. This card becomes a lot more broken in the mid to late game. By the way, you guys, this card is dangerous, okay? This card will game people. So I see a lot of cute plays. You know, it's a great starter. It's gonna get out your dark after you resolve Roar. You know, and you tribute your dark to summon your fusion, or if you have Battery Man Solar, link it up, and you could just discard this, bring a guy back. But what makes this card more dangerous is mid to late game when you have Colossuses and Titans in the graveyard, and you just discard this one card, bring it back. This card summons any Thunder Dragon monster, by the way, with no stipulations on the level or what type it is. It doesn't say main deck Thunder Dragon monster. It only says Thunder Dragon, which is funny. I've never actually seen somebody bring back the fusions off this. I think that in their mind, they think that it only summons specific Thunder Dragons, but as it clearly says in this card's text, unless I can't read, you know, it summons any Thunder Dragon. So I think if you can summon a Titan or a Colossus off of this, you're coming back off of one card. And not even factoring in that you can try to crash your Colossus or try to crash your Titan, and then just banish, try to crash your Colossus and your Colossus will then banish a Thunder from grave, and that will end up plussing you and netting you another effect that can snowball into other advantage. So one card can just lead into many. So yeah, I think Hawk is one of the best cards in the late game. In fact, I think it is the best card for the late game. Next to, of course, Thunder Dragon Roar, which I also play 3 of because I want to open up with these guys as much as possible. As far as Titan though, like if you could just revive a Titan off of Hawk, on your turn, you're probably going to have a lot of the regular Thunder Dragons that just are not spell speed 2, but just pitch them, get their effects, pop, pitch, pop, pitch, pop. So one card can just end up leading to your victory. And then we have Roar. Roar is incredible, you guys. Roar is incredible. In playtesting, I resolved both my fusions. They were in the banish zone, and I didn't have a Duel to put them back in my deck, right? So I was just like, oh, I just discard Roar and then add my fusion back and then play it. And keep getting follow-ups, keep extending, keep the longevity of the grind. This deck is really good at grinding, but it's also really good at OTKing, as I've just realized. It just depends on the matchup, because the only problem is this deck's main method of removal only destroys. So if cards can't be destroyed by card effects, that's an issue for this deck. It has to go into cards like Unicorn, and you can only really play one Unicorn. Let's be realistic. And even if you play 2, that's not to say that you're going to summon both. So yeah, there is that, but this card is really, really good. It's not just the graph effect. What I really love is the discard to add effect, because similar to Hawk, this card can be a 1 card just comeback in the mid to late game, including adding Hawk back and then discarding Hawk to bring back your fusions anyways. But, you know, it's a really good starter off of your Gold Sark, off of your Lure of Darkness, or off of another spicy tech that nobody's playing right now that I'm going to show you guys later. It's just a great starter card in general. All the Thunder Dragons can discard themselves to do one thing, or if they're sent from the field to graveyard or banish zone, they do another thing. They naturally always snowball into each other, leading to advantage. So basically, once you're able to resolve one, more than often, you're able to resolve the other 2 in the same turn. You're just not always able to resolve Egg, the origin, but if you can resolve all 4 in one turn, you get a lot of advantage. You get a big setup, you get a juicy board. You can actually end on double Titan, double Colossus. It is possible. Off of 3-card combos, but off of 2-card combos, you normally end on double Colossus and 1 Titan. Next up are Dark, which is the searcher of the archetype. Dark can either search a copy of itself or any Thunder Dragon card. The only time his effect to search itself is good is when you have Titan on board. Other than that, in a worst case scenario where you have an awkward hand or a simplified game state, this is just going to meet the conditions for you to summon Colossus. But then again, that's what all these guys do at bare minimum. Dark is a searcher, but I think that Hawk and Roar have higher synergy in the mid to late game, because this card can always be Ash Blossomed no matter which effect you're using. But like Hawk and Roar, not always going to be able to be Ash Blossom. In fact, really never, unless you're using their other effects. But their discard effects, no. And then, Ghost Spell does have interactions as well. But we're moving forward. I'm not trying to ramble too much. To triple Thunder Dragon Matrix. Matrix is really good at mainly one thing, which is the main way you use them, which is to trigger your Titan. But don't get it twisted. You can pump up your Colossus. You can actually help to OTK. Because a lot of times you're normally off by that little increment of a couple hundred. Especially when you have double Titan and Colossus, it just sometimes you're off by that little bit because you run into a monster and then you still can attack directly with the 2 Titans, but it's like, oh, it's not enough, but chain this, and it is enough now. And also just allowing you to get more pluses, because when you're able to resolve this off of one of your standard Gold Star combos and your Summon Sorceress combos, you just end up getting 6 cards in hand, which is really good. Don't sleep on this card. The best card in the deck, Thunderclap Skywolf, the God card. Why is nobody playing this? I don't know, bro. You please, somebody tell me why. Every Thunder Dragon deck was not playing this. Not a single one was playing this. If you want to play Brilliant Fusion, you can send this off of Brilliant Fusion. You can send this off of Batteryman Solar. Bro, it doesn't make sense. It baffles me that nobody's playing this card in their Thunder Dragon list. This card, you have 3 Solars to send it. You can search your Solars, by the way, not just off Fusion, but off of my Spice that I play in my main deck. You can search Solar, turn 1, dump this guy. And you basically get a card that's really powerful to summon off of your Summer Summoner, because he can summon any Thunder monster to his zone. So what you end up doing is you summon your Thunderclap Skywolf during your opponent's turn, and you Raigeki their entire field. And it works really good, too, when they Kaiju or they Chalice or, Impermanence your Colossus and then just kill it. Then you're like, oh, okay, I guess I just bring back my Thunderclap Wolf in his place, and Raigeki your field. And what's amazing in this effect is not once per turn, and it's an if and not a when effect. You can't conduct your battle phase, but you always summon him on your opponent's turn anyways. So it's an infinite Raigeki that you can continue looping with your Summer Summoner. You can bring it back off of their own trap, which is really good. So the card's just amazing. Why you don't play it, I don't know, but I would never not play this card. I considered playing it at multiples, but I knew that it would lead to brick hands. So I found that one was perfect because it's very accessible through Batteryman Solar. It's just a really incredible card. Then we have Thunder Dragon Duel. And also, if you even open with it, if you already have a legal Thunder monster target for some summoner, you can discard this card for cost and then summon it if you already have a legal target. So if you have 0 cards engraved, you obviously can't do that. But if you already have a Thunder Dragon or a Thunder monster that you can target legally with summoner, you can always just, if you have it in hand, discard it and summon it. But being able to Raigeki your opponent's field during either player's turn is something that Thunder Dragons cannot do. They have Titan to 1-for-1. I don't want a 1-for-1 with Titan. I want a 1-for-5 with some summoner. Come on now, bro. Let's get real. Let's get competitive for a second. I want a 1-for-5. I want a 1-for-4. I want a 1-for-6. I don't want to be extra linked. I don't want to be OTK'd. I don't want my board to be broken by a boar load. I want to Thunderclap that boar load, you know? Or I want to Thunderclap them before they get to that board load. Especially if I don't have the ammunition for Titan. Because it's not 100% 10 times out of 10 that you're going to have something to trigger Titan on their turn. So you're not always going to have the ammunition. And sometimes they bait it. They play a card and you're like, oh, that's a multi-roll. I'm popping that right now. And you're like, dang, that's my only pop off Titan. And then they just, you know, stuff like that. Just interactions. And then we have One Dragon Duel. Because it's a searchable Chaos Monster is the reason why I play it. I want to play BLSs because that also helps in the mirror match just to banish their Colossus and Titans. You know. But I like Duel right now. It has a really, really high ceiling in the grind. It does search your deck for your Thunder Dragon monsters. It does banish, so it can trigger a +1. It can actually be a +2. And during the end of your opponent's turn, which is the best effect, you can target one banished card, put it on the top or the bottom of the deck. Target one banished card. Doesn't have to be face up. So your desired cards, if you pot of desires, this card can potentially get back some of the cards that you banished. You just don't know what you're getting back. So yeah, you have to keep that in mind because they are banished face down. And then also, something that's really cool that I've been doing a lot with testing with this deck is I've been using Duel to put Hawk from my Banished Stone on top of my deck. Because I don't know what I'm going to draw, but I want to make sure that I draw something good. So I just use Duel to put the Banished Hawk to the top of my deck. I draw a Hawk, I discard it, I summon back one of my fusion monsters to the main monster zone. I go off from there. That's really good. Or I put back Roar, and then I top deck Roar because I put it on top of my deck. I discard Roar. I grab my fusion, my Thunder Dragon fusion. After I banish the fusion, search, then I discard it, add it from the grave to the banished on the hand, and I have a fusion now. You know, this, like, there's so many applications, there's so many interactions. I can explain more, but this card is great. This card is A1. This card is A1. They're so impeccable that I would not play Desires because I don't want to banish them. Now for the hand traps, we have triple Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. So powerful against this deck. If you Ash Roar or Ash Dark, like, there's not very much they're going to be able to do after that. Not saying that their turn's over, but, you know, their turn can be over if that was their only play. Especially if they only had that Gold Star combo with the Batteryman. Yeah, yeah, just saying, you know. And, of course, there's interactions where you can Ghost Spell them, too. But I don't have Ghost Spells right now because I'm still a broke boy. In fact, I'm a broke boy because of my channel, bro. I'm just going to be realistic. Like, I spend more money on this channel than I do on myself. And I spend money on myself. I really do. Triple Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries. One of my favorite hand traps. I feel, in my personal opinion, this is the second best hand trap of the format. Let me tell you something. You're never going to get FTK'd if you have Cherries. Never. If you have Cherries, you're never going to be able to get FTK'd. You know, I know that Call by the Grave exists. Don't tell me something I know. Okay, so this card stops you from getting FTK. There's a new FTK deck out, right? This card stops you from getting Extra Link by Gokis and Dark Warriors. This card can stop an Altergeist player from getting to their Multi-Faker. This can stop them from getting Hexy on board. This stops Sky Shakers from being able to add spells from their deck to the grave. Okay, from their grave to the hand. This can win you the matchup in the Pendulum. This can win you the Pendulum matchup. Okay. I mean, and guess what? One of the coolest interactions with Winter Cherries is in the mirror match. You can Cherries their Summoner. This can cut off their plays from ever going into Summon Sorceress. This can also potentially stop them from going into double Colossus and one Titan. Because a lot of them, this is the only generic link that they play that has 2 down pointing arrows. Not all of them are playing Landforicus. In fact, I haven't seen any list playing Landforicus. So because this is the only link that a lot of Thunder Dragons play that have these 2 arrows, what it ultimately does is, not only does it stop them from getting that recovery play, it stops them from being able to go into Summon Sorcerers, because this is a Thunder. It's a link too. They just use this in another Thunder to go and Summon Sorcerers, so it takes that play away. But also, they're going to end on 1 Colossus. If they end on 1 Colossus, do you really think that's that difficult to deal with? You can out that 1 Colossus, and you can break their board and kill them. Especially if you have an Impermanence. So, Impermanence, Winter Cherries is like godly in the mirror match. So, yeah. Don't get it twisted. Cherries is still good against this deck. But see, people don't really realize that. People don't get that. Nobody's playing Cherries against this deck because they're like, oh, you can just play Fusion and put back the Colossuses. You don't Cherries the Colossus. You Cherries the Link Monster. They put 1 Colossus on board. You Chalice Impermanence. You Mind Control it. At that point, you don't even need Matai and the Time Lord because they have 1 Colossus. So yeah, Winter Cherries is still good in that matchup, contrary to what people think. That's it for the monsters. So yeah, Cherries is amazing. Another Cherries target that I really want to play and that I'm going to play is Dante. Because this deck does not have a great Burning Abyss matchup, I'm not going to lie. Titan's not going to hurt that deck at all. It probably might help that deck. And Burning Abyss don't really search, so your 2 best fusions don't really hurt Burning Abyss. That's why Burning Abyss has such a great matchup, because you're not really hurting the deck with your best plays. So yeah, you can really struggle with that matchup, but this is why I think Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries is like the best hand trap right now, next to Ash Blossom, because it just wins so many games undeservedly. You take away ace monsters with that card. You take away Dante, no more Beatrice, no more milling, no more just adding your cards from grave to hand. You just, all your level 3 turbo cards, your Gallus the Star Beast, you know, your Rescue Cat, and all those other cards, your Dangers, they're not gonna get into anything that's good. You know, Dante's the best play. Now for our spells, the 1 card combo, the GOAT, the godly card, 3 Gold Sark. I was so glad that there was finally a deck that can actually abuse this correctly. Lightsworns was probably the next best deck to abuse this, and then next to that, Ritual Beast. But yeah, and then in Lightsworns, this is pretty good too. You have you know, Giant Rex, and you have Spirit Master, other stuff like that. But this card's 1 card combo. This is a 1 card Colossus, and it becomes 2 card combo when you have your Battery Man Solar. It's incredible. It's a powerful card. It really is amazing. It's not even once per turn. Triple Allure of Darkness. I have 9 targets for this, so yeah, I do play 3, and it's always like a +1. And that's another piece of synergy that Cherries has, is it's an Allure target. You ready for the spice, you guys? You're not ready for the spice. Double Crossbreed. So in playtesting with this deck, there are a lot of times when I open with hands when I literally could not do anything at all. Like, there was a hand when I had Thunder Dragon, the OG, Thunder Dragon Matrix, and then the, what's it called? What's her name? Thunder Dragon Hawk. And then I had 2 hand traps. I had double Winter Cherries, which was kind of sad, but I was like, if I'm going second, that's okay. But my hand was totally unplayable, right? And I mean unplayable. I couldn't trigger Matrix because I didn't have a target on field. Hawk did not have a target to summon on grave. I'm sorry, that's what it was. It was double Hawk. It was double Hawk. It was double Hawk. I was so heated. I was really upset because I just wish that one of the Hawks was one of the Thunder Dragons that could discard themselves, because that was the situation I was in. And so what I did was I was like, there has to be a way to fix those kind of hands so that when that comes up that I won't just lose just to breaking, right? So I looked in my treasure chest of just random jank, and I was like, come on, 3 stacks. There's some jank in there that's going to help. There has to be something that's like indirectly, you know, there's those cards that are like so good in a certain deck, but it's like, you know, it's not meant for that archetype, but it just works. I introduced to you guys Crossbreed, one of the next best staples for this deck, and I guarantee you nobody's playing this right now. In fact, this is my personal spice. I'm sharing you guys something that I didn't even want to show you because I know that all it's going to do is contribute to the cancer. Thunder Dragon players are going to be playing their deck even more crazy. So what this card does is it fixes your hands. It really does, and it makes your playable hands even better. So in that scenario where I had the double, and I really hated it, but I had double of this, and then one of the Matrix, and then double Cherries. And I hate drawing 2 of the same card. So this was my hand. If one of these Winter Cherries, so I did a hypothetical, because while I was looking for my jank, I found this. I was like, wow, so if I had Crossbreed in my hand, what you could do when you have situations like that is you could play Crossbreed, you banish this, and you banish this. And what you end up doing is, guess what you get to do? You search your Battery Man Solar. And then what you end up doing is you don't activate your Hawk, unless you need to, unless your hand is really that bad. But you do activate your Matrix, you search off of your Matrix, and then you search your Batteryman Solar. That's what Crossbreed does. What it does is it banishes 2 monsters with the same type and the same attribute from your hand or your field, which is actually really cool because in mid to late game, when you have your guys on your field, you can just play this and trigger their banished effects and get a lot of pluses off of just 1 card, which is really good. But it triggers their effects, and it makes your hand playable, and it searches Batteryman Solar. And then when you have Dark and Bestial, don't even get me started with that. If you have Dark and Roar, but no other way to make a play, you can actually banish both of them, get the effect of search, get the effect of special. You probably going to set up a nasty combo, and then you can search another one on the follow-up. But it obviously pairs better when you have the light Thunder Dragons, which you actually do play more of. You play 9 of them. You have 3 Matrix, 3 of the OG Thunder Dragon, and 3 Hawks. So yeah, it's better to resolve it on the lights, and it's more life in that combo because you can search Batteryman Solar. So yeah, Crossbreed is insane. It's really powerful. I think that you're sleeping on this card. In fact, I'm the only one playing this card, but not anymore. Not after this deck profile. People are going to start playing this card, guaranteed. It's amazing. It fixes your hands. It makes your unplayable hands playable, because I promise you, Thunder Dragon players have ran into that instance where they're like, ooh, yeah, I can't get out Colossus or anything. And it's like you're like, okay, this is good. Like, I have good cards, but I just need something to get it started. That's why Solar's so good. That's why, you know, Hawk is so good. But Hawk is only really good when you open with it and another Thunder Dragon to discard so that you can summon it on the field and then get your Colossus out. But when you have Hawks and, you know, Matrix, that's horrible, you know, because Matrix has to have a target. You can't just discard it just because. It has to have a target to increase attack. So yeah, it unbricks your hands. It's a +2. It's really broken. Then we have double Thunder Dragon Fusion. You don't need 3. It's only once per turn in the first place. And you can always recycle it with your Roar, so you never ever run out of this. And your Duel can put stuff back too. Double Call by the Grave, because Ghost Bell and Ash Blossom can really hurt this deck a lot. And I just really don't want to lose to those cards. Monster Reborn and Soul Charge, just really good extenders. I don't really always have good targets for them because I banish a lot, especially to protect my fusions. But when you do have good targets like your actual fusions, you can Monster Reborn a Titan and then activate Hawk and summon another Titan and discard your Matrix and then pop 2 cards. Just really cool. And, you know, that just really helps you. For the other hand traps, I main deck 9 hand traps, 3 Ash, 3 Winter Cherries, and triple Impermanence. This is really helpful in the mirror match. And it's helpful in a lot of matchups because you can't call by the grave this, and it's not once per turn. And it is really good when you go first and you set it as a live trap. Then we have more Spice cards that nobody plays. This is the Soul Charge on your opponent's turn. And this is the Altergeist Protocol that outs back rows. So this really helps in the Altergeist matchup because that's one of this deck's hardest matchups. You want to be able to out their back rows. And it stops all of your Thunder Dragon monster effects from being negated. So yeah, they can't respond, which is really broken. And you can just out back rows. And you might say, nobody's ever summoning Thunder Dragons on your opponent's turn. I am. I actually am, bro. The way I play my decks, I always play it different from like most people play it. I just have a different mindset. I think I try to bring the maximum potential out of a deck and still keep it competitive. So this card's insane. It fixes the Kaiju problem, the Chalice plus Afterburner problem, the Molaseek problem. It really sucks when they just Molaseek away your Colossus or your Titan, especially when Titan doesn't have ammunition. But you know, you can get them if you have Colossus and Titan and a way to out the Molaseek. You can just pop it with Titan and they can't search because they're on their Colossus. But yeah, this fixes a lot of problems. It gets even more redundant when you're summoning a monster that had multiple copies of itself in the grave. So you can bring back triple Colossus. If all your Colossus get out, for example, if you're in that kind of you know, that kind of scenario, that's just an example. I'm not saying it's gonna happen all the time, but it can. You just bring back triple Colossus. So yeah, this card is a 1 for 3 at times, and you can also add it back with your Roar, which is something that's really cool. Yeah, and then your discharge is just amazing. So yeah, you have to play these cards. I don't know why Thunder Dragon players don't run this. I don't know why Thunder Dragon players don't run Crossbreed. I don't know why they don't play Thunderclap Skywolf. But yeah, I don't know. But I do, and I love those cards. So yeah, that's another reason why I was really excited to showcase my profile, because I knew that I would be showcasing a way to play the deck that nobody had thought of, and I really wanted to share that spice with you guys. Double Titan. None of the Colossus were in stock when I bought this deck. They were all out of stock, so I couldn't get Colossus even if I tried. Out of stock on Troll Untold. And then we have Double Summer Summoner. Really good link. I go into it and I actually leave it on field because it fixes the Kaiju problem. It gives me a follow-up. If my fusions get outed, I just bring them back and I just keep winning. We have Phoenix, Unicorn, Trishbania. Trishbania is really good against back row decks. This deck can struggle. The fact that it banishes can help you because you can banish Thunder Dragon monster, get a snowball effect. It's a really good card. It's just amazing. Can win games off of it as well because of intermatch procedures. Something to just keep in mind. Unicorn helps in the mirror match. Borreload, not Borrelsword. I already have my invite, so I'm not too worried about topping. If I was, I'd be playing Borrelsword. And then we have the really good winner cherries targets. Also in the Altergeist matchup, something that comes up is when they're going second against you, or I'm sorry, not when they're going second, when they're going first, they normal summon Molaseek. You can winner cherries the Link Karibo, because this, you actually play this because you can make it, but it also makes winner cherries more flexible because you cherries the Link Karibo, now their Molaseek can't search the Multifaker, which means they can't bounce your fusion. So yeah, just an interaction that can come up. I'm not saying that it's always going to, I'm just saying that I'm pointing it out. Kagari is amazing, Hextia is amazing, Electrum's amazing, Firewall's amazing. So yeah, I don't want to deny that. And like I was telling you, if you have winner cherries, you can't get FTK'd because the only reason why they can't FTK is because of Firewall. He's the GOAT. Then we have Underclock and Akashic. Akashic can help you in the mirror match because it can bounce stuff. I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but I'm saying that it can come up potentially. Of course, it has good synergy with Kaijus. Kaiju them, bounce it back, Kaiju another one. Underclock's good in the mirror match too because Colossus and Titan, you know, if it's a mirror match, all your fusions have the same attack. So if you underclock any of them, you're going to make their attack 0, and you can just hit for damage, which is really good. And that concludes the deck profile. I don't have Summon Sorceress, and I don't have Colossus. I forgot to get Summon Sorceress and add it to my cart. I apologize for that, you guys. But this deck is due for an update when I get my Colossuses. And right now, the deck list is not going to change. The only thing I probably want to do is try to balance the hand traps. Like, I can cut 1 Cherries and 1 Impermanence and do 2 of another hand trap. Ooh, my bad. 2 of another hand trap, like Ghost Spell. But I don't know. I just have to keep playtesting with the deck and make it better. But God bless you guys. Have a beautiful day. Make good choices. Don't do drugs. And I really hope that you guys enjoyed this. Definitely let me know in the comment section down below how you feel I did at this deck profile. I really want to know because I'm not proficient with Thunder Dragons, but I do know enough about the deck. And that's pretty much it, you guys. Woo. Peace.